Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Walrus Watercooler Dev Podcast on the Magic with Zuby show. I am your host, none other than Zuby, the senior partner of creative content of Walrus Game Studio, and I am here solo today to talk about the upcoming Kickstarter for Walrus Game Studio and everything else that's coming along, because it's super exciting. And yeah, we're gonna try to start doing this a little bit more often and a little bit more consistent as well too, because let's just say life has gotten a tad bit crazy, on top of getting everything ready behind the scenes for this Kickstarter, for this new book. It is just beyond exciting at this point. Like, you don't understand how pumped and scared and thrilled it is to really be honestly doing this, because it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane to me. But before we begin, let's just get some messages out of the way here. We're not sponsored anymore, but I will give a quick little rip in peace in case any of my old Magic the Gathering / Cardsphere folks are listening. I need to give a quick solemn shout out and pour one out for my folks at cardsphere.com. If you recall, or if you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, you will know that Cardsphere used to sponsor Magic with Zuby, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for the people who ran that website. They were very awesome at what they did. I loved their work. I loved the website. It was a great way to trade Magic cards at a low price and, be able to get the cards that you need. But sadly, they have announced recently that they are closing up shop. And I just want to give a little bit of a shout out and a pour one out for my homie Cardsphere, for the people behind Cardsphere, Efren, Michael, and Ted. You all did amazing work. If you're even listening to this, I greatly appreciate what you've done for the Magic community and what you've done for your own community as well too. I feel like you all stayed very true to yourselves, and you didn't sell out, and you were as kept your integrity as best as you could, and didn't sell out when it was probably really easy to do so. And it's sad to see you all go. I hate that what Wizards has done to that amazing card game, the greed that it has become, and the hardship that has come on to you guys to even try to keep up with. It's a shame, and it's kind of disgusting what Wizards has done to that game. It's basically turning into Monopoly, like what Hasbro's done with Monopoly. But this is not a Magic the Gathering podcast anymore, so I do apologize for going a little bit of tangent here. It's just, when I read that, I was kind of, heartbroken for them, because they were very good friends to the podcast. We left on no ill will terms or anything like that. There was no bad blood between us, and I wish you all, Michael, Ted, and Efren, nothing but the best and success in whatever future endeavors you may embark on. So that is really the only sort of message I wanted to bring. That's a little bit of a throwback for the Magic with Zuby crowd. But, on to newer things. An old chapter is closed and a new chapter has begun. And we are going to go forward with the Walrus Game Studio Water Cooler Dev show here. And we are live right now on Twitch. Like I said, we had our first podcast episode. God, let me look at 4 months ago, we did our first episode of this, and we're back 4 months later, and I'm really hoping we don't do 4 months in between episodes. And so Yeah, let's just give a little bit of a background on what's been going on with the company. Obviously, it's, we have the Kickstarter going officially live on October 3rd. The Kickstarter was just approved by the website last week. We have all our marketing and advertising uh, getting made and ready to go. We've made Kickstarter intro videos, we made Kickstarter ad videos, stuff for Facebook, stuff for other social media sites. It's real. It's happening. We have our whole fulfillment side set up and ready to go. We only have a few stretch goals this time because we did have plans for more, but it sort of fell short, and we didn't feel like we were going to have enough time to try to scramble to be able to come up with new ones. So we know that the stretch goals are going to be a little bit light in this first Kickstarter, but we will plan to have more stretch goals in future Kickstarters here. And yeah, that has been like the biggest thing we've been working on behind the scenes the past 4 months is finishing up the book, getting the layouts done, contacting, working with artists. God, it just feels like it's been so much. I can't even tell you. The Foundry VTT module is still in the works. We're at the very end of its development with the module. I think all that's left is to test out some JavaScript export import stuff. But gosh, I know there's more. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really new with the company overall. Like, we have all our social media stuff set up. We've got the website finally finished. We've got 3 more books in the works right now. One has its first chapter written. Another has, what is it, 3 or 4 chapters in rough draft written. And the third one has at least the brainstorming sort of workflow chart starting to be written as well too. So yeah, it's an exciting time for Walrus Game Studio, and now it's to the point it's like, hey, we got to get the social media kicked up and get the hype started for the Kickstarter for the book that's releasing. Oh my gosh, it's crazy to me. It's insane. But before we get into that, let's give a few life updates here. So some life updates. I recently got a promotion at work. Awesome, amazing. I am happy about it, and I just it's I was thinking about it, like, this is the kind of job that I have my career, my day job, I should say, outside of Walrus Game Studio, where I really, really enjoy what I do. And that's, not a joke or anything. I feel fulfilled on what I do. Yeah, there's good days and bad days. I mean, that's every job, right? And, I can't see myself leaving that place unless, like, Walrus Game Studio, like, struck it huge and struck it rich, and it's like, oh crap, now I gotta focus all my time on this company. But even then, I highly, highly enjoy my work in IT, and I can see myself years from now, as I get older, mentoring the new generations of IT people, and trying to make sure that they succeed and learn what I have learned and try to pass on that knowledge, because I love it. And I have been back at the gym for the past 4 months, trying to lose weight, trying to get muscles. I used to be a gym rat back in the pre-pandemic days, and then I hurt my shoulder, and that took me out for a while, and now I'm back at it past 4 months. Strong man here. If you're listening to the audio, it's like I'm trying to like flex, like gym rat. It's doing a nice weightlifting regimen. Mainly not very heavy weight, but a lot of sets at high reps and low weight, at first, because I've got some problems in my hand. I've developed some tendonitis in my hand here, and I've got some tendonitis in my knee. That's what happens when you get older. It sucks. I got to go to sleep with a wrist brace now and go to sleep with a knee brace now just to make sure I don't mess up my stuff. Here, it's ridiculous, let me tell you. Don't get older, kids. It sucks. It's just like, so anytime I even have to take a nap too, like I feel the sleepies coming on, I just got to put on my wrist brace and pass out. Because if I don't, then like if I fall asleep without my wrist brace, I feel it start hurting a little bit. So awesome, I love it. So let's get on to the main topics here. Let's get on to the main topics of Walrus Game Studio. It is amazing. So what more can I say about the Kickstarter? We've got the Kickstarter is launching officially on October 3rd at 10 a.m. I have taken that day off from work, and I plan on streaming on Twitch for the majority of the day as much as I can, and just, doing podcast-like stuff here, playing some games. I don't know, maybe working on developing some of the other books here, and just seeing like, can we make it? We've changed our funding goal to $5,000, and I think it's very possible. There's been a major development on the book, on our first book, our first Darkstorm Adventures book, and that is, we are no longer releasing separate books for both 5e and Pathfinder 2nd edition. We are now combining it into one book. Now, you may be like, how's that going to happen? What do you mean one book? Oh, maybe I don't want one book. Maybe I want to buy separate books because I just want to support you twice. I mean, you could if you wanted to, buy more than one book. I don't care. I mean, just be like, yo, that's awesome. But for the people who don't want to buy two books and, they do like playing 5e or Pathfinder 2nd edition, or they want to check out some of the mechanics and monster stats in either or, they can just buy the one book and see both versions in one book. So the way it'll go, just to give a little bit of a hint of the way it'll go here, is when you are reading through the book, and when you get to a certain section as the GM, when you get to a certain section where it calls out for, an encounter with creatures or a skill check or some sort of saving throw, there's going to be a separate text box in parts of the book that will specifically call out, like, if you're playing 5th edition, use this. If you're playing Pathfinder 2nd edition, use this. So it is very simple and easy to run through. So, if you enjoy playing both tabletop editions, which is someone like myself, and I know many others who enjoy playing both 5th edition and Pathfinder, I feel like we're one of the first and only companies that are releasing one book for two different editions. And I'm super excited for that. Now, just to preface, as of right now, we're only doing this for our adventure module line. I do not know if we are going to do the same for when it comes to like our source book or player option lines. Because we do have plans for creating like, custom subclasses, custom classes, custom, feats and all that kind of stuff. None of it is in the works as of right now, but as of right now, I cannot say that will be true for those line of books. But for every single adventure module that we come out with, yes, it'll just be one book, two editions, 5th edition and Pathfinder 2nd edition. And when essentially one D&D releases, aka, it's essentially D&D 6th edition. When 6th edition releases, we will then revisit to see if we need to start including that as well, because how different the mechanics might be. But so far, what we've seen in D&D 6th edition, there's not that much of a difference in it. So we may even get away with still including D&D 6th edition, 5th edition, and then Pathfinder 2nd edition all in one book, One book. You do not have to buy separate. So that is super exciting. That is going to be a huge selling point of the book. And plus the book, I've had plenty of people, read it, and even people who don't have a lot of experience GMing, and they say like, this looks so easy to run. And that's awesome. That's awesome to me that it's, and I'm just super happy and proud of that, because that has been one of our core design philosophies for this entire thing, is ensuring that all adventure modules we have going forward are not only super fun to play, but easy to run, because we don't want to have GMs spend hours on prep for these books. I mean, no one wants to do that. Right? If you're into that, awesome, great, because I know there are certain books that I have ran and played back in 5th edition that, I didn't mind prepping because I liked being able to twist it and make it my own. But sometimes I just want to pick up a book and play it. I just want to be able to run it for my friends, and I don't want to have to spend hours on trying to read a book and ensure like I completely understand everything. It's a very nice thing to just be able to open up a book, read it, and be like, okay, I know exactly what to do. There's not a whole lot of, I need to write notes and notes of pages and all this history of stuff. So it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. It's awesome. So like I said, October 3rd, the Kickstarter releases. We've got pre-ads and pre-launch stuff. We've got the pre-launch page, I think, releasing this week or the next. So that will be starting to be spammed out all over our social media to, start following the page and all that, get news updates and all that. Super exciting stuff. I can't wait. I'm honestly super excited. I'm beyond ecstatic about it. So that's the Kickstarter in a nutshell. It's going live. Even if the Kickstarter fails, let's say we don't get funded or anything, we're going to release this book in some shape or fashion. Like it's getting out there. I don't care how it gets out. It's getting out there. But Kickstarter, I'm happy. I feel confident about it. I feel like we've got a good plan, good advertising plan, good marketing plan, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I hope you all are excited too for it. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about our upcoming Steam game. We are actually getting ready to launch our first official Steam page, so you can wishlist the game called Walrus Watercooler. There has been a lot of progress done on the game in the past couple months. We not only had to sort of take a little bit of time to upgrade the Unreal Engine on our servers and make sure everything we've programmed on 5.1 over to 5.2 is working. There was a lot of QA work with that. So we've seen a lot of good progress on that. And we're at a point now where we're getting really, really close to not only getting hopefully to like some alpha testing, which is going to be super sweet. We're hoping to see some alpha testing hopefully by the end of the year, beginning of next year. And, be sure to follow all our, social media or Discords and stuff if you want to be a part of that alpha testing group, because that's going to be exciting. So in case you forgot, Walrus Watercooler is a walrus PvP battle royale where you have to have dance-offs with other walrus on an ice floe and knock them off the ice, essentially. And if they get knocked off the ice, there's a chance they could get eaten by sharks. And there's also going to be other stuff that can suddenly happen as you're doing these dance-offs with the other walrus, where seagulls can like get in you and poop in your eyes or something, or sharks may jump up out of the water and land on the ice. All bunch of crazy stuff, right? But we've got the Steam page hopefully coming up soon. Hopefully we're going to get alpha testing by the end of the year via beginning of the year. I mean, we've got so much crazy stuff going on with that game. I love the progress that it's been going on. Shoot, I just saw, uh, the some of the design documents for the menu. Okay, so just to preface, I am not really involved on the video game side of our company. I can throw around ideas, but I don't really know how to program or animate or any kind of UX or UI design. That we have other people on the team that know how to do that, and thank God, because they're freaking amazing at it. But we have no, shoot, where was my thought going? But we have some amazing people that are doing that. But what I mainly handle is more of the TTRPG space and the social media part of the company. So, and I am going to be working on helping making sure the network and infrastructure of our games is a good and solid component. Right now, probably most likely Walrus Go is going to be a peer-to-peer online game for the time being, where someone will be the host and they connect to, and clients will connect to them. So a P2P type connection. But in the future, we're going to be revisiting and determining whether we develop a sort of cloud network for our games, cloud servers for our games, if it warrants and if it makes sense financially as well too. Like, let's say if Walrus Go comes out and it's like, only 1,000 people are playing it, it's probably not worth getting a cloud infrastructure for that game. But in the future, with other multiplayer games, that may change depending on, the hype for it. But this first game, we're super excited for, and I love what we're seeing. I can't wait. I can't wait till we start getting testing out in the public. I think people are gonna have fun with it, because it's one of those, the type of PvP game that I like is you can just easily jump in, play a game or two, and jump out and have some fun with your friends, right? Because that's what really matters in the long run, is just having fun, doing ridiculous walrus dances to try to knock them off the ice platform, and there you go. And of course, I'm getting texted in the middle of this. But sorry, I got distracted there. But yeah, so Walrus Go, more updates to come on that soon. The other stuff I wanted to give some updates on would be our 3 books. Oh, the other 3 books that we have working on, that are in progress right now. So the first one that I will give some hints to is we're calling the Blade Auction. So what that is going to be, the Blade Auction is going to be a series of adventure modules that are going to be like one-shots, right? So each one-shot may be 1 to 2 chapters long, maybe not take very long to play, like 4 or 5 hours at most, or you split it into 2-hour sessions or something. But these are going to be some really fun one-shots that I think that everybody's going to really enjoy. We have play tested 2 of them internally. The other 2 are still in the works, like, in still the rough draft stage. The 2 that we did play, the first one, I freaking loved and enjoyed, and all our player, like, it's so hard not to spoil what the adventure is, because I want to talk about it so much. But just to talk about the play testing about it, was we all had such a great time laughing our asses off. It was great. The second one, we are developing some naval combat rules that are our own custom naval combat rules that are going to be easy to run, but also with enough customization to where you could reuse them in future campaigns as well too. And we do plan on reusing those naval rules in future adventure module books. So we did that play test when we got together, in person in Ohio for our first company retreat, the first annual Walrus Game Studio retreat. that took place in Ohio, aka everyone else lives in Ohio and I live in Florida, so I just drove up to Ohio and we had a blast. Actually getting to play Pathfinder and D&D in person for the first time in forever. Not since pre-pandemic and all that. So that was fun. So yeah, we've got the Blade auction in the works. We've got another book. There's no name for it yet. The code name is Dragon Scale, and the best way that has the first chapter written so far, and the best way I can describe that book is it's really simple to say fantasy meets sci-fi, but it's fantasy meets alien abductions. Like fantasy meets aliens. And I'm talking about like, the grays, the gray aliens and stuff. So I'm having a lot of fun writing that and really just getting super creative, trying to think of a fantasy twist on aliens and alien abductions. So I'm having a blast doing that. That has been put a little bit off to the side because book 2 of Silver Flame Legacy is in the works right now. It's in the brainstorming phase because the first Kickstarter book of Darkstorm Adventures is Silver Flame's Legacy Book 1. It is part of a trilogy of books. So book 1 is going to end in a really nice way to where you can either, pick it up and play book 2 right away, or pick it up and make up your own thing. So it's sort of ends in a way where, you either go on to our book 2 or make up your own stories with it, or put it in your own world as well too. So, but book 2 is in the pre-stage of rough drafts. I'm working on flow charts. I'm working on making sure I've got a kind of rough outline of how I want the chapters to go. It is going to be a much larger and bigger book than book 1, and I'm excited to write it. So I've already got sort of like the rough outline of of certain events I want to do, and I can't wait because it's going to make some amazing role playing in that, some amazing role playing decisions that players are going to have to make. And, I love that. I love presenting situations as a GM to where you're like, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You got to think of the needs of the many versus the needs of the one type Star Trek stuff. So that's in the works right there as well, too. We've got, that's all 3 of them. And, obviously we have more book ideas, but those 3 are the ones that are at least the most fleshed out and in the actual stages of production. Whereas all the other book ideas, they're just written on a notepad on the Google Drive somewhere, where it's like, yeah, we want to get to it, but if only this is our actual day job. But hey, it's not. It's a lot of fun though. I'm trying to think if there's anything else regarding Walrus Game Studio that I might be forgetting. We've got the Walrus A Go-Go, which is in progress. We got the 3 books that are a go. I don't think there is much else to really discuss or bring up at this point. It's super exciting times. I guess I can mention some upcoming streams. So we did a Star Trek RPG stream the other day where we were going through character creation of this book that you see on screen, Star Trek Adventures, which is it was pretty fun. We went through character creation of it and did some simulated combat in it, and I had a blast playing it. Like, I had such a blast walking through the players on character creation, because it is the type of character creation where you get really creative on what kind of character you want to make. And if you're into Star Trek as much as we are, you will love it. So there's an upcoming stream for that. There's an upcoming Pathfinder Kingmaker stream that we're working on. We're behind the scenes, working on characters and just really trying to plan time. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is trying to plan time to, do all this. And then, of course, other streams I'm going to start doing where I'm playing either, stuff like Baldur's Gate 3 or World of Warcraft Hardcore, and other stuff like that, just random streams just to, get back out there in the social media sphere and, you know, start hyping up all our stuff that's coming out. And I feel like that about does it there. That about does it. So as we close out, we'll give some social media call outs here. We are on the following social media platforms pretty much under We Are Walrus everywhere. We are on Threads, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Our website is walrusgamestudio.com. Our email is info@walrusgamestudio.com, and there will be a link to our public Discord in the show notes. And I hope you all have, a really great time. And, have a great night, all right? And we will be back for some more.